Hi guys, it's ASBYT and this is the Realme 7 5G. It might be the most powerful, affordable 5G smartphone currently right now, going at just £229 at the time of recording. It's got a unique chipset inside, a beast of a battery and a 120Hz refresh rate display. So when Realme reached out to sponsor this video in line with their official launch, I thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's see the good and the bad, but in testing, it's got me thinking. And I need your help with a question. Yeah, we need to talk. All right, Dotty? Just chilling? Just absolutely loves getting in a video. So before we get to that all-important question that I need your help on, let's see exactly what we're working with, starting with what's actually inside the retail box. Firstly, we have the manuals and a clear case, which is always nice to see. We have the phone, which of course we'll come back to, and we have the charger and charging cable. Very quickly, I will be doing a very tasty giveaway of all three of these phones, the Realme 7, the 7 Pro, and the 7 5G, and I'm going to be doing it across 3 different platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So, stay with me right through the video. I will announce how you can actually enter. Moving on to the phone, we have a 6.5-inch Full HD Plus LCD display with 2400 by 1080 resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. Phone manufacturers have gone mad for the high refresh rates in the last couple of years, mainly because, from my point of view, it makes flagship phones just that little bit smoother and more fluid to use, but also it helps make more affordable phones that are possibly not packing quite the same high-end chips still feel really nice and quick and almost outgunning their own internals, because the animations of scrolling and jumping in and out of apps basically almost feel twice as quick as a 60Hz regular panel. Now, Realme with the 7 series do actually offer a 60Hz AMOLED panel on the 7 Pro, but also the 90Hz LCD and the 120Hz LCD of the 7 and the 7 5G. So you kind of get quite a difficult choice of which you should go for, considering they're all around a similar sort of price. The ideal for me would be to have both AMOLED and high refresh rate, but of course at this price point, you're not really going to find it, as AMOLED high refresh panels seem to be that little bit more expensive to make. Now, that's not to say this LCD panel on the 7 5G is bad, because actually the lack of any real discoloration around the bezels and the punch hole cutout, which is ever present in a huge amount of similar LCD displays, is really quite impressive. It's not the brightest, but it can be used outdoors. It's not necessarily the most vibrant, but it is still pretty vivid with its colours, and it's not got the best viewing angles, but when you're looking straight on, it's fine. And how many people actually look at their phone like this? Jumping over to the back, and this is where you will see another example of when a company making a new budget or affordable phone takes a look around the market and sees what is popular design-wise on high-end flagship phones and borrows a few ideas. But crucially, as a result, they haven't really spent too much on R&D or research, and usually they're using slightly less premium materials, so they're actually saving money on the design of the phone, and therefore they can pass those savings on to you guys. And this definitely feels the case with the vibe here on the 7 5G. Like with all the 7 series phones, we have a matte frosted finish which shifts in colour in the light as you move it, and if you saw it from a little way away, I don't think you could actually tell it wasn't a flagship. Very clean with just a little text at the bottom, and this is a very popular look right now amongst premium phones. Obviously, when you hold it, you realise it's not a metal and glass sandwich, but there's still a fairly nice weight to it, so it doesn't feel like cheap tat. There's also a pretty cool two-tone effect here, almost with a stripe that runs up the left-hand side to the camera module. And while we're there, let's see what we get. So we have a 48 megapixel primary sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra-wide, a 2 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. I'm not going to go too much into detail on the macro and the depth sensor because, quite frankly, they are more sort of party pieces and things to play around with than necessarily great camera lenses, but the ultra-wide and standard do the job really pretty well. Nice details and dynamic range, and the 48 megapixel mode gives you even more picture information, so you can crop into zoom if you want, or you can just have a higher res shot. And portrait shots in the right lighting look really nice as well. You get 4K 30 video on the rear and 1080p on the front. So overall, a pretty decent offering for this sort of price on the camera department, but not necessarily flagship. Something that can't be said for the battery. 5000 mAh, if you're asking, which is great. The same as what we've seen with the likes of the Samsung Galaxy S20 and Note 20 Ultra, and there's even a 30-watt fast charger in the box if you do need to top it up, which fully charges your phone in just over an hour. Obviously, battery life isn't just the size of the cell, and also software optimization and the other internals inside, like chips, like McCain's chips. Great battery life if you've got good software and potato inside your phone. Software optimization and other internal hardware are also important, so let's see where we're at with that. Well, it's Android 10 with realme UI skin over the top, and I can't really complain here with an overall stock feel and just a few tweaks here and there and a few additions, and to be honest, I can't really complain about the chipset either. The 7 5G is rocking a MediaTek 800U, and I was really quite impressed with this 7nm chip. MediaTek chips can sometimes get a bit of a bad rep compared to the likes of Qualcomm, for example. But in terms of benchmarks, this phone actually outperforms the OnePlus Nord N10 5G, for example, which has a Snapdragon 690 chip. So we're talking a pretty decent mid-range chip. The 6GB of RAM has been more than enough for me to be able to get through all the things I need to do in a day, including social media, emails, and some gaming as well, and still get to the end of the day with battery to spare. I did notice during gaming sessions that we just have, unfortunately, the one mono speaker, which is bottom firing here, but it's really pretty loud. If you want to have a party and vibe the night away, then you can do it on your phone. I don't know what that last sentence was, to be honest. Yeah, definitely loud enough, and you can pump some tunes. Side-mounted fingerprint scanner, 128GB of internal storage, which is expandable, and get this, there is a headphone jack. Right, so back to the intro and the question that I need answering from you guys. Over the last year or so, smartphone manufacturers have kind of been ramming the idea of 5G down our throats, and I want to know your feeling on the matter. I appreciate the advantages of 5G, and when I have tested it, it's been really useful, great. But I also appreciate that 5G is still not readily available in large areas of the world. So I want to know what your opinion of 5G actually is, and whether it's important in a smartphone for you right now. If you're in an area that doesn't have 5G, for example, would you buy a 5G capable smartphone right now in this price range to almost future-proof yourself for when that day actually comes? Or would you prefer to see that amount of money that's being spent by manufacturers in their phones to maybe include a higher end display, an AMOLED display, or a more powerful chip instead of that 5G feature? Or are you happy that 5G is readily available, especially at this price range? Let me know in the comments something that has been on my mind for a while, and I'd love to hear how important you think 5G right now actually is. Right, so giveaway time. 3 different phones and 3 different ways of winning on 3 different platforms. And you can enter all 3, but the first random winner will be selected from the comments of this video, and you have to write down your favourite feature of the Realme 7 5G. Like I said, 1 random winner will be selected from those comments. The second way to possibly enter is to head over to my Twitter, and that's ASB_YT, and all you have to do is retweet the tweet that I post about this phone and follow me so that I can DM you if you win. And the final way to enter is to head over to my Instagram, again that is ASB_YT, and comment on the post again that I make about this phone, and you can post anything you want, but make sure you tag 2 friends that also might want this giveaway. Like this video and sub to the channel if you enjoy this sort of content, and also check out some of the other videos I've done on similar price smartphones, similar tech. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. ASBYT, peace out.
Do just what you want.